started.
Oh, we got a game. DR. Okay, let's play E4 here. DR Real 33 from Turkey. Okay. Center counter. And so the normal way to play is to put that knight out there right away and gain a tempo on the queen. Then you can put a pawn in the center like this. You can put the knight here. Sometimes I like to play h3 there just because the bishop pin is annoying sometimes, but it's, I guess, not necessary because I've looked it up in the opening books and nobody, that's not one of the recommended moves there, so I guess it's a wasted move. Anyway, he blocked in his bishop with e6, so I don't have to worry about that pin now. I think bishop here, maybe this pawn is still defended, and I castle, and then maybe I move this knight out of the way and play c3 or c4. Now let's castle. So this looks a lot like a Slav defense with this pawn triangle or semi-Slav where he's traded, but it's the e-pawn that's missing instead of the c-pawn.
Server announcement.
Now if I play knight to, if I put the bishop here, then I can play knight to knight to e4 with tempo. I think I still want to play knight e4. So now he can gain a tempo by taking the knight. I take back with the bishop, and then knight takes. So I think I will avoid that and put this knight on g3. Of course, you could argue he's gaining a tempo, but I've transferred my knight over to the king side here where maybe it'll be useful. And we'll see how he tries to develop. I assume he's going to have to castle king side here because the bishop and the queen are in the way from queen side castling. Yeah. So can I play c4? This pawn is defended. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. So I could play queen c2 and bishop to g5 and just threaten to win the h-pawn there. Oh, I'm not really threatening that. I forget. I take, and he takes back with the knight, and the h-pawn is still defended. So I need something else. Maybe wondering about bishop f4 and knight to here, but that leaves this pawn hanging, although it's not attacked yet. Maybe bishop c3 and then knight to bishop to c3 and knight to e5 as an idea. Now knight to c5 now. Knight takes, pawn takes. And that pawn seems well defended. The c-pawn is not yet a weakness. But let's see. Can I play d5? I guess that's the other question. Pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, and no, I'm just losing a pawn there. So knight e5. Maybe even f5 if he doesn't take right away. It also got the knight off of this diagonal, so it's not a target for that bishop. However, this pawn is a bit of a target. I can take. He takes back with the knight or rook. Is there anything else? Bishop here, knight there, knight there. Or pushing the pawn. I guess pushing the pawn loses the pawn, right? Push, pawn takes, knight or bishop takes. And defending it is, just seems wrong. So let's take. The bishop is still defending the knight there. Okay, I've spent a lot of time on those few moves. Let's see, maybe I should play at a normal pace. Rook d1 would be good here. But if I play rook d1 now, he can just take the bishop. Well, that may help me in some respects. And I am threatening to take on h7 with check and win the queen. And here I get a tempo on the queen, and I get to double my rooks on the d file. But I don't. It looks like I don't get to keep the d file. Kind of annoying because he can put a rook here, can defend. He takes. I take it. Maybe I can keep to a d file. Does the knight have a home on d7? If I double rooks and he puts a rook there, I can't put the knight there because knight takes, rook takes, rook takes. Rook takes, queen takes, yeah, so I'm overpowered there. Unless there was a way to get rid of that knight. Okay, so let's shore up the c-pawn. This is not hanging. Okay, down to 3.5 minutes. The c-pawn wasn't hanging immediately, but if you had a way to chase the knight away, then it would hang. So just improving the structure over here. And if he opposes on the d file, I don't know. I suppose I need to play rook d1 then and try and hold on to it. And does he have a move like b5? He does. I mean, I can't take on b5 because this would drop the bishop. For now, let's just defend the rook. And opposing rooks again. Okay, now this pawn is no longer pinned because the rook is no longer there. Let's see, if I take, he takes with the queen or the bishop. I don't know, yeah, somehow he got a decent game out of all this. I'm not sure how that happened. Yeah, I still don't want to give up the d file. It's the only open file. Okay, and he has a bishop pair. Okay, so this is not hanging. Let's go here. He can't come in on the d file. Oh, he can check me there. I forgot about that. Forgot about d8. So queen d1 rather. Knight to f1 would have been something to worry about. Yeah, I had been thinking of queen. I'd been thinking of queen to f3, which would have guarded the d1 square. And then I realized that the bishop was covering f3, so I moved my queen to e3 instead and forgot about the d1 square. So let's give the king some air here. Don't want the knight to always be limited to defending the king. Now I can play knight to g4 here maybe is interesting. This knight is loose because of the pin on the f pawn. I have to keep that in mind. So is there a fork? The bishop is loose too. So queen here would be a fork. But after a trade, the queen is defending the knight. And the queen can't go there right now. So knight takes knight, queen takes knight, and queen to d3. I have to move the bishop. But as long as, I'm threatening mate. So queen to d3 is not an option. So how can he defend? He can defend, no, the bishop there. He can put the bishop back on f8. He can play pawn to g6. Reasonable move. Now I might want to get my queen over to e6. That's an idea. I mean queen to e5 on this diagonal here. So if I go to this square first, I'm hitting the h pawn, and queen d3 is an option here, but I can retreat the bishop, I guess. Queen to d1 check is an option. King h2, and the queen's defending on f2, fortunately. And if he doesn't defend this pawn, if he does defend the pawn, I can put my queen on f6 even. That would be a strong post for the queen. Oh, his queen is guarding f6, so queen f6 is not really so great. Queen e5, and he can play f6, but then I can take the e pawn. That would be good. Yeah, I'm not sure how he's defending everything here. Bishop f8 defends the h pawn.
Check.
Okay, he goes for the check. That was, I could have considered knight down, but I want to keep my pieces active here. He can place his bishop on d6, but then I have queen f6. Or queen takes h6 even. I think somehow this queen check maybe was not the most accurate move. I think really he needs to bring it back to defend somehow. But I should gain at least a pawn if he does that. I did go for queen to bishop d6. Okay, so hitting the queen and then the knight here. But the knight, the pawn is no longer pinned, so I can take back if he takes with a pawn. So I go here threatening checkmate, or here threatening checkmate. And if he takes, I take. And how does he defend? He doesn't defend against the checkmate. He can run away with the king. So queen here, bishop takes, pawn takes, king to f8, and then there's a queen check here or here, and then the king can go to
Time warning.
f8. So I was just wondering if it's any better to take over here, at least pick up a pawn. It's something at least, and if he takes, I take back with a pawn, and there's no more checks on the king. There's a threat maybe to have to worry about, if there is a threat, to g2, because the bishop and the queen could coordinate on g2. But what I really need to do is, oh, he blocks, okay. Let's just go back here. I'm threatening check here. Oh, I'm threatening to take the pawn, I guess. And he's not threatening to take on g3 anymore. His queen's a bit out of play. He can defend. He can just defend the e-pawn there. But he needs to do it somehow in a way that defends the bishop too, because there's a threat of check here and then taking the bishop. So queen, for example, queen to e1 to defend the pawn doesn't work, because check and take bishop. Okay, so he attacks my bishop. So I can check and take his bishop. He's attacking this pawn. So if I take here with the bishop, he takes here with the queen. How do I defend that? Then I play check here, and then that's mate. So I take, he takes, I take, I better just play it. And then I need to figure out how to defend this guy. But if the queen takes right away, I can mate into with check, and then here. Queen here is mate. Oh, no, not so quick. Queen takes, queen here, check, and then bishop blocks. Then I need to come back and defend defend g2. Darn, gotta defend g2. Yeah. So I don't have time for the check. Okay, if bishop takes knight, I have bishop takes bishop, and the queen is defending g2, and the pawns are even. This is going to be a quick game. Going to be, I've just spent my time. My time is almost out. I don't mean it's a quick game. It means I have to move quickly. Now, my threat is queen here with check. Maybe bishop back here, something like this. And I have
Black
to,
forfeits on time.
oh, well, that was lucky for me. He just didn't move
Incoming
fast enough.
challenge.
Okay, I think I will play him. The challenge went away. Okie doke, I will upload this and I will do a postmortem video as usual. See you guys later. Bye.